happens if Israel feels that its very existence is threatened? I don't mean by chance in Tehran or Sana'a, and I don't mean the victim card overusage opportunities like when someone says free Palestine, and that's somehow perceived as a threat to Israel's existence. No, I mean really. Let's say a nation or a group of nations are in a situation where they can just march into Jerusalem or Tel Aviv and overthrow the government, just table flip it, like this is not working, right? That is a genuine existential threat, a threat to Israel's existence. What happens then? Enter potentially the most secretive, most shrouded in mystery missile program on Earth. I don't know what this is. This is an evil man scheming, I guess. The Jericho program. Have you heard of it? Maybe not. Or you know about it, but you don't know it's called the Jericho program. Israel's never officially publicly acknowledged nuclear program. That's what this is. According even to the US, the Israel, the ally of the Israeli state, in a 2004 congressional report, for example, Israel was said to have anywhere between 70 and 400 of these nuclear capable long range Jericho missiles. Jericho is therefore the final answer Israel can give to any difficult questions that it gets. To be deployed as a last result. As a result, one take, guys, one take. To be deployed as a last result. Though, of course, when a nation need not worry about using up its diplomatic currency because it's already bankrupt, but still kept in the game, still kept afloat by Big Daddy USA, Jericho could be deployed, even in situations other than as a last resort, analytically speaking. But anyways, let's get into the details of this mysterious capability shrouded in secrecy. And remember, I've only got one TikTok account and one YouTube account, so don't be fooled by scammers trying to get you into crypto, sending you a DM. How are you enjoying the content? Telling you about crypto, Telegram opportunities. I'm tracking you guys. I'm tracking you scammers, and it's not going to work. Trust me, most of my viewers are not going to be hoodwinked, befuddled. It's fake news, guys. It's fake news. I only have one account. Block them. Block those other ones. They're phonies. Yeah, sorry. That was me trying to be Trump again. And don't forget to comment, by the way, telling me where you're watching from. Very motivational for me, right? A big shout out to Ghana, Uganda, South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria. These are the African states that have some of my most vocal supporters. I see you guys, and I appreciate you guys. More mentions in the later in the video of other people and their countries that they are representing. I'm actually working on setting up an automated tracker so that I can see which countries mentioned most often, so I can say, oh, these are my most vocal supporters from these countries. Much love, big love. Now, don't worry, I do see all your comments. Now, the analysis, which is what you're actually here for. Israel officially neither confirms nor denies possession of nukes. This is called strategic ambiguity, and it's the reason why any journalist who ever asks an Israeli or American official, though at this point is the same thing in some cases, you can thank APAC for that. But when they ask an American official or an Israeli official if Israel has nukes, they just give you that stupid, annoying, coy smile. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Mehdi Hassan, for example, was asking directly to an Israeli official, I remember, in a debate, and of course Mehdi Hassan just absolutely ruffled, stomped the lad. But he definitely didn't admit that Israel has nuclear capable missiles, but he didn't say they don't. Now, Israel's Jericho missiles come in several classes. Jericho 2 and Jericho 3 are missile series is currently in operation. Jericho 1 was an old one that got retired, and Jericho 4 is the 2024 updated variant. Has been rolled out, though the exact details on how they work and additional capabilities are limited in terms of publicly available data, which is understandable for the latest, military technology being used by a sovereign nation is operational security. Now, like any nuclear capable country with the financial ability, if they can afford it, Israel's nuclear weapons can be deployed in three ways: land-based, air-based, and sea-based. In terms of sea, there's the animation budget in effect there. And thank you to those who have offered to support me by funding an animation budget. What I need, I can ask, is for you to go to my bio or to go to the YouTube description and click on my Patreon link and support me there. If you want to support me in some way, if you care about what I do, if you respect it, you respect me, you enjoy my content, support me on Patreon. It's not going to cost you much. Just take the dive, just take the hit, just take the hit. Now, in terms of sea-based capabilities, damn, that was a very weird wave. It was like, what's going on there? In terms of sea-based capabilities, Israel has 5 Dolphin-class submarines capable of launching warheads up to 1,500 kilometers away in terms of their final target. For air-based, the Israeli variant of the F-15 and F-16, obviously, of course, American provided to the Western outpost state that is Israel, maybe no longer, now it's a bit more independent. These fighter jets, though, can be equipped with nuclear capable missiles and these fighter jets can be refueled mid-air to boost their range even further so that they can reach distances that they couldn't within one fuel cycle, one full tank of gas. um, and obviously that means their air-based capabilities can deliver nuclear weapons to much further away targets than their land-based or sea-based launchers. And land based capabilities, Israel is estimated to have anywhere between 20 and 100 missiles based in underground facilities near Zacharia, which is a settlement to the south of Tel Aviv. Fun fact, Zacharia is also a prophet in Islam, alayhi salam. I say peace be upon him. Judaism, of course, is where the Israeli state gets their naming of cities. Jericho, Zacharia, these are obviously two Talmudic or biblical references. Anyway, let's talk about the range briefly. We touched on this when we talked about the air-based, refueling capabilities of the F-15. I just want to touch on it a bit more. The air-based nuclear missiles that can be carried by aircraft for the Israeli state can be refueled mid-air without having to land, like the B-2 bombers you saw America use last month in June, or the month before actually now. This gives Israel incredible range, right? They can, if they want, according to a US study, I'm not just making this up. The US Congressional report of 2004 says Israel has a strike range that could reach any country in the Middle East, Europe, Africa, Asia, North America, most parts of North America. That's almost everyone, right? That's almost everywhere. Okay, fine. They can't reach Australia or New Zealand. Good on you, Kiwis. Haha. Sorry, that was a New Zealand accent. Forgive me. Though to be honest, looking at the haka they do, they really don't need help. They could probably win a land battle against Israel. Anyway, we're talking basically 10,000 kilometer plus range, right? Ridiculous ranges. Interestingly, you can compare how alarmist Western administrations, Western governments, and the media are aligned to these governments, how alarmist they are when they're pushing oh no, Iran's range capability is huge, oh, it's growing. Maybe they have Khorram Shahar 5. We'll talk about that in another video. Khorram Shahar 5 is reported to be the latest, greatest Iranian missile that can reach the North American homeland, right? You can reach the US proper. Well, look at Israel. But it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. Don't worry, Muffles. Don't worry about Israel. One set of rules for the West, another set of rules for the rest. Relax yourself. Iran is Iran, but Israel's our buddy bud. Right now, historically, obviously, Israel has not used nuclear weapons. Though, if I've ever come across in my analysis, my learning, my reading up of history, if I've ever come across a nation that could use nuclear weapons and still get away with it, I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids. It's a Scooby Doo reference, sorry. If there's any nation that could get away with using a nuke, analytically speaking, Israel would be candidate numero uno, number one. Because obviously, if you oppose them, boom, victim card comes out, anti Semitism, how could you, da 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 da, I can't believe it. My people have been persecuted. Relax yourself, okay? I'm just saying don't nuke other people. That's not anti Semitic, surely. And the US, of course, provides diplomatic cover. In fact, Israel would probably say, hold my laminated victim card, I'll do you one better, Muffles. We will do the deploying of nukes and then say we were the victims. How about that? How's that for victim card, right? Right to defend myself. How could you, we're the victims, right? Nuke someone and be like, how could you make me do something so horrendous? How could you? My humanity is forever despoiled. Never mind. Okay, this joke's gone now. It's dead. Why do all these countries um no, why do all these countries? Why do all these countries have nukes? Because we'll get to that later. Okay, now, never mind. What we were talking about. Uh, one take, guys. One take. Okay, if it messes up, it messes up. Here's the. I'm only human, right? I'm not Mehdi Hassan, but I'm working on it. Right now, Israel's big daddy, the United States, is the only country on earth. I want to point this out because it's important. It's the only country on earth, the only administration of any nation to have historically deployed strategic nuclear weapons. Strategic, by the way, are the big ones. The tactical nukes are smaller battlefield ones. They haven't been used. But strategic nuclear weapons against civilian targets. America's the only nation has ever done so. Don't forget. Okay, I know you all know, but I'm reminding you. Hiroshima, Nagasaki. And they actually, to this day, the American state defend that action. Very interesting. You see, Americans even watching this video, perhaps not all, but some, if asked, will justify the US dropping nukes. We had to, we had to save American lives. That would have been lost if we had to invade the Japanese home islands. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Americans may have died. Now, whatever their justification, the point is, looking at analytically, because we're analysts, right? I'm analyzing. I'm not an activist. Analytically, the point is, nuking civilians can be justified by Americans. And Israel threatens, if not in words, at least in terms of capability, Israel threatens to be the student that becomes the master. Arguably, they already have become the master of war crimes justifications. If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be them. And their teacher is America. I mean, they did in Gaza what they did and then called it self-defense. Continue to this day to keep saying October 7th, October 7th. What are we supposed to do? Right? Because October 7th can be used by the Israeli state to justify basically anything, whereas nothing can justify October 7th. This is the skewed manipulation and the narrative, the Israeli grand narrative that is displayed. More details, more videos on my YouTube channel and TikTok, where we'll talk about national grand narratives and how they actually mold the geopolitical dynamics when it comes to interaction with other countries and interaction with their own domestic population, their own civilians. Now, any opposition that nations have to the Israeli state as they commit war crimes, for example, in Gaza, don't be anti-Semitic. Don't be anti-Semitic. Our people have gone through a lot. At least give us this one. Give you what? The ability to commit a genocide. Yeah, give us that one. And it's not a genocide. There's no intent. Okay. Now, this day, 80 years ago, America dropped their nuclear bomb on Hiroshima. I just want to point that out, just to remind you that a nation exists today that has dropped nukes on civilians, has justified it at the time, continues to justify it now, and their population just see it as acceptable. I just want you to understand the frame of reference and then compare it to what's being said by that country of other countries, that other countries are not safe enough, other countries are not reasonable enough, tolerant enough, self-controlling enough to be trusted with nukes. When the country saying that are the only country that has deployed nukes against civilians is really topsy-turvy. It doesn't shock me, but I know loads of people will be shocked. It doesn't shock me because as an analyst, very, very little shocks me nowadays. It is what it is, for better or worse. Now, anyway, back to this topic to wrap up, okay? Nuclear weapons in this day and age are primarily used. This is some more geopolitical analysis for you. Nukes are primarily used by administrations as a promise of MAD, or mutually assured destruction. Though Israel named it something else, they called it the Samson Option because why not? Why give it a name when everyone already has a name for it? Mutually assured destruction? Well, the answer is why not give it a new name? Naqab Desert, Negev Desert, Karim Abu Salem, Karim Shalom, Bir Saba, Beersheba. Must be a confidence thing. They just rename everything. God forbid people call the places by their Arabic names. Might be a threat to the existence of Israel, right? Can't have that. Very anti-Semitic. Wouldn't be acceptable to us at all. 0 out of 10 would not occupy again. Now, the Samson Option and Israel's nuclear arsenal in general does what nukes do for any nuclear armed country. It prevents an outside power from overthrowing the government, likely through armed conflict. If you have a nuke, your administration is basically got this invulnerability card, essentially, from outside forces. Let me explain. In Israel's case, They say, yes, we have occupied a very small strip of land. Yes, we have no strategic depth, right? There's, you could fly over our country, you could, look away for 30 seconds, look back, from the plane that you're flying over the country with, and boom, Israel's gone. It's so narrow, it's too small. But damn you lot if there's any way you guys unite or coordinate long enough to shove my government out. We all go out together, bruv. I'm gonna press this button, Samson option, shalom, welcome to hell. Let's all go. Right? That's basically the sort of the promise of the Samson option. I'm not saying that's how the Israeli state acts, but that's the promise. Which means geostrategically, it would be now or in the future an exceptionally difficult task for any one nation or alliance to militarily invade Israel and overthrow the government. It's very easy for many people, especially in the circles I operate in, Muslim community generally speaking. It's very easy to say, look at what's going on in Gaza. Why don't the Arab countries just drive their militaries in? Now, I'm not saying I don't support that. I'm not saying I support that either. There's a lot of geopolitical back and forth on all of that, but I'm saying Israel can use their nukes in a way that promises that any country, if you try to overthrow my government, we're all going out together. Best to believe. I'm gonna Jericho, Iron Man, boom, the mountains in the background explode. I'm gonna all of your countries, right? That's the threat. That's what Israel's final answer provides them with. It safeguards the ethno state from being conquered and its government from being toppled from the outside. From the outside. There's a little caveat, Mafos. I've spotted it, the shrewd amongst my viewers. Nuclear weapons, you see, do not protect Israel from the inside, from within, it should be noted. You see, in historic Palestine, including what is considered Israel, the Palestinians are still millions in number, and though occupied, living in some cases under siege like Gaza, and in some cases living in some cases under apartheid like in the West Bank and in Israel proper, there may come a time when the Palestinian people in their historic homeland turn round to Israel and essentially say to Israel, I'm not trapped in here with you. This is my homeland. And Big Daddy America is no longer interested in keeping you afloat. He has the dragon of the East to worry about. Your allies, Israel, have drifted away, and the regional powers, Israel, that were aligned to America are no longer interested in helping you, Israel, because America is no longer interested in helping you, Israel, which means the Palestinians might turn around to Israel and say, I'm no longer trapped in here with you. You are trapped in here with me. Let's dance. But that's for another video. That's for another video. I hope you enjoyed this one. And all my peeps, my potential politicians, my analysts in the making from all the African countries I named, and from Canada and Australia and New Zealand and Europe, West and East, the African countries I didn't mention from the start, from my homeland, Bangladesh, from Pakistan, from India, from Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, the ASEAN countries, right? Cambodia, from the Middle East, from Turkey in the north to Yemen in the south, and from Egypt in the east to Iran in the west, from the penguins and the polar bears, from the penguins and polar bears in the north and or south, the Arctic and the Antarctic. I thank you all for lending me your attentive ears, though they probably don't stick out as much as mine, but I thank you all the same, and say to you, for the unbiased news and analysis without the Western spin, I'm Mahfouz, and I'll see you on the next one.